Okay, let's unpack this. We've got a really fascinating, targeted look into the procedural gears of the judicial system today. Our deep dive is focused on just one document, a notice and motion for restitution of seized property and reimbursement of funds.
And it's filed pro se.
Right, pro se. So
The individual, Josiah Haltom, is representing himself. This is
all happening in the General Sessions Court of Chester County, Tennessee.
Yeah, and the mission here for you listening is really to trace the legal strategy of a citizen who's fighting the state for accountability.
And he's not just, filling out some standard paperwork.
No, not at all. He's challenging both the property seizure and the very nature of his bail. He's alleging illegal retention of both. It's like a masterclass in how specificity and procedural clarity can become your ultimate leverage when you're your own attorney.
Absolutely.
So Haltom starts by detailing what was lost
During an interaction with law enforcement. This was around September 29, 2025.
And it's what was seized that's immediately interesting.
It wasn't typical evidence or, contraband. He claims they seized personally owned medical products.
Right. And what's fascinating is how he immediately elevates that claim. He doesn't just say they took his stuff.
No.
He states he requires these items for the treatment of a documented traumatic brain injury, a TBI. And he even says he acts as an ambassador related to this treatment.
So this isn't just a claim of lost property.
Not even close. This is him introducing a medical necessity argument right into the court record from the very beginning.
Okay, wait. How does that medical context change the court's view of liability? I mean, he isn't just seeking the replacement value here.
No, and that's the strategic brilliance. The motion explicitly categorizes the state's retention or, maybe destruction of these items as wrongful conversion of property and, get this, a secondary injury to his health.
A secondary injury? Wow.
Exactly. Conversion, in legal terms, it doesn't just mean they misplaced it. It means the state actively and wrongfully interfered with his legal right to use his own goods.
So by linking into the TBI,
he's arguing the state inflicted active harm. And to make the case basically airtight, paragraph 3 establishes objective proof, a docketed invoice and a receipt.
Right.
Valuing the products at precisely $278.30. That documentation it's just non-negotiable proof.
Okay, and here's where it gets really interesting, though. Once he establishes that specific property claim, he leverages the motion to challenge the financial seizure as well. He contends that the sum of $335 was exacted under the guise of bail for his liberty.
And he deems this an unlawful ransom.
An unlawful ransom. So how does he effectively argue that when bail is such a standard procedure?
Well, he's challenging the very legitimacy of the circumstances. He's basically asserting that the funds were coerced under a false pretense of securing his freedom. Essentially a shakedown rather than a legitimate guarantee he'll show up in court.
So combining the value of the seized medical products, the $278.30, and this alleged unlawful bail, the $335, Haltom is seeking immediate reimbursement, totaling $613.30.
Right. But look at the procedural order in his prayer for relief. This is key.
What about it?
Before asking for the money, he demands accountability. He asks the court to direct the Chester County Sheriff's Office to immediately account for the chain of custody and status of those medical products.
So he's forcing them to show their receipts first.
Precisely. That's a critical point for anyone who's watching government accountability. If that state agency can't produce a clean, unbroken chain of custody for documented, itemized property,
They're immediately vulnerable to a liability claim.
Exactly. It forces them to audit their own internal processes, not just respond to a complaint. It's an exercise in procedural pressure. It's designed to make it easier for the court just to grant the financial relief than to try and defend a lack of internal controls.
So what does this all mean for us? This filing, it's this concise and, frankly, brilliant look at the procedural steps an individual can take to seek accountability. It shows how itemized documentation and the clear definition of legal injury, from property conversion to secondary medical harm, can arm a private citizen against, institutional bureaucracy.
It's a profound document about leverage. It really is. And it leaves you with this thought. What does this specific case tell us about the future of legal defense?
How so?
Well, consider the principle at stake here. You have these established identity markers like a documented medical necessity or even personal titles like ambassador being used strategically to redefine the state's obligations. It suggests that the clearer your documented life is, the stronger your legal defense becomes.